Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader. And before we get started, we'll need to run through our risk disclosure. So let's go ahead and do this. All right. So just to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice or an offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company and its partners, representatives, agents, employees assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk, and it's not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital, and only risk capital should be used for trading. Okay. Nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure, we'll turn our attention over to the financial portal here and see what we have to deal with as far as the news. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this. Okay, let's go ahead and open up our financial portal. Go ahead and take a look here at what the news has in store here. Okay, so fair amount of news today, and that's being currently reported. Okay, we have U.S. retail sales month over month. Looks like it's come in under expectations. You have U.S. core retail sales again, also came in under expectations. Let's see, U.S. import prices month over month came in line. U.S. employment costs came in under expectations, or under, but looks like below expectations. And then what do we have in store for the remainder of the day? Well, a fair number of, speaking engagements from our Fed members. We have at the tail end of the session, we have some times where we'll have our president speaking, and then we have EIA, I guess preliminary reports coming in at noon, and then we have the U.S. 3-year note yield reporting here at 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so fair amount of news, I guess, retail sales and core retail sales that had the potential of impacting the markets here. Kind of looking at the ticker here and see what kind of impact that had on the markets here. Looks like we have S&P is down by a bit. We also have let's see, Bitcoin is also appears to be down. Okay, so let's go ahead now. Now that we have kind of a feel for the news here, we'll go ahead and turn our attention over to. Okay, let's try this again. Well, we're going to go ahead and change over to our platform here in a minute here, so should not be an issue. We'll go ahead and flash the news here. Hopefully that's visible to everyone. We'll just flash the news, and again, just kind of highlight that we still have some. We just got some news in the market that could impact the markets. Okay, so there you have it. Retail sales, core retail sales, import prices, and employment costs are, I guess, the bottom of the half hour here. And then we still have a couple of items later at 1 p.m. The 3-year note yield that could impact the markets here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and turn our attention to the portal here, platform, and see what context that we can drive from the markets here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the market that we always start with, and that is the gold market. and we're gonna move into the daily chart here, and start off with the daily chart and see what we can secure from here. Okay, so what context we can draw from this market. Okay, so looking at this, starting off with the daily here, you can see that seems like we are kind of grinding, I would say, back to maybe still repairing this little sell off here that we had back on the 29th. Still, I would say, very much in the control of that bar there, right? So we are starting to make higher highs and higher lows. Like if I were just to look at this series of candles, you can see that the market is attempting to head higher here, right? But unfortunately, we're still very much in the control. I would say we haven't really been able to get above the high here, right? So while we're making some new highs, okay, I guess the important high to kind of maintain or maybe restore this bullish structure, because I think there is a little bit of a break of structure that was made with this bearish candle. We definitely need to get above this candle here at 54.60 in order to begin to kind of restore the structure that was lost with the candle. Okay, so right now it appears that the market is in a little bit of range, right? So if I look at the DMI indicator, right, you can see that the positive and the negative are pretty much flat. We have an indication here in white. That's the 25 reading. So anything that's above 25 is indicating that there is a strong trend. Now, the ADX indicator is indicating that we are in a strong trend, but the momentum is failing, right? So the most recent trend that we've been in, with this candle here, was probably more on the bearish side. Well, that seems to have waned here a bit, okay, with the start of these series of candles, and now we're starting to maybe build up some pressure here to the upside. Okay, so we lost a lot of bullish momentum with this candle, but we still are above some of the readings that would indicate that maybe we are still in somewhat of a bullish trend here. Okay, all is not lost. Okay, we still have the positive DI above our negative DI. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. We're going to go ahead and disable our initial balance here for a moment and take a look here and see what this is telling us. All right, I'm going to go ahead and you can see I'm going to go ahead and open up, if I can, my moving averages here just to see what the moving averages are telling me. I can see that price is above the 9. It's above a relatively flat VWAP. Okay, and if I open up my ribbon, okay, you can see that we have a lot of overlapping, right? So we have the 200 moving average, okay, 200 moving average, which was below here. And then we have a lot of moving averages kind of crossing up each other here, okay? So looks like we have the 20, okay, this 20 moving average right above the 100, okay? And we have a falling 50 and the right above the 100. And then so we're starting to see that maybe these moving averages are maybe firming up here to I guess support this continued move to the upside. We're seeing some price action that would indicate that maybe there is a little bit of momentum here coming into the bullish side of this market. Looking at the DI, the DMI is a little bit below. The ADX indicator is below our momentum number here of 25. Okay, so a little bit below that, a little bit on the range. I would say not really a lot of dominance in either direction on the DMI here. Okay, I'm just kind of zooming in on this a little bit. We see have the ADX kind of falling here. We have the selling pressure seems to be falling. And I would say that maybe bullish is maybe up higher to ranging here at this point, and that's kind of what we're seeing on the charts. Okay, volume delta kind of peaked below here. Looks like we are getting a little bit of buying pressure coming into this market. So 4 hours is showing maybe a little bit more signs of bullish kind of price action. I think we obviously need to get above this 5,095 level in order maybe to continue to see maybe the possibility of the market beginning to rally. Okay. But right now it feels like this is more of a retracement or possible continuation of this move. So at any point here, the feeling is that the market could resume its kind of bearish tone here, right? We got a nice little swing here to the downside, and now we seem to be grinding or kind of retracing back to a level, right? Back to a level that could cause the market to again continue to sell off. So again, I'm not completely, how we say, sold on the rally. Okay, I do see that the market is trying to head higher, but until we can get above that 5460 level that we mentioned earlier, there is always the possibility of sellers stepping back into this market. Okay, let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart here, we got a nice little spike in volume delta here, right? Nice little spike in volume delta. So we got 1,000 more buy orders than sell orders, possibly the result of some of the news here that we just received. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the moving averages here because they're not really offering me much insight as to what the market is doing here at the moment. We can see that price is above our VWAP. Okay, I would say the VWAP is relatively flat. We have our 9 EMA also offering us some maybe an indication that maybe there is some more upside to this market, but it doesn't. The market was pretty much in range for most of the overnight sessions, both Asia and London. Okay, so let's go ahead now and take a look at the initial balance ranges for those markets and see what we can what insights we can gather here. Okay, so here's the Asia session. Really never gave us a good indication that it ever moved into a trend, right? We were basically range bound, right? Range bound for most of the session, right? Price remained inside the range. London came in, and London offered us the same, right? Now we have peaked above. This is kind of a classic. This would be kind of a classic failed auction here, right? We did attempt to auction to the upside, and what did we immediately get? We got a 15-minute candle back in the opposite way, and rotated all the way down to the other side of the initial balance range. So for those that are looking for a classic or kind of the character of a failed auction, this is it. Okay, we got a candle to close above. We immediately get another 15-minute candle to close below, right? And not of the weak variety. And we rotate it all the way back down to the other side of the initial balance range. So this has all the signatures of a failed auction. Okay, all the signatures of a failed auction. Now that we've come back to this area of consolidation, looks like we found some buyers and making it maybe a secondary attempt at trying to break this level again. Now the question is, are sellers still present at this area? Are they going to create the same kind of scenario? Well, we'll have to see how this current candle closes, and if it does indeed offer us something in the way of a reversal candle and allow us to remain in range. Otherwise, there's always obviously the possibility here. And again, we've had Asia in range, London in range. What kind of initial balance are we developing in the regular session? Okay, well, we're relatively normal range, I would say, for now. Okay, we have I don't know, from 50 60 right now all the way to 50 82, 20-point range. Not bad for a crude oil market that's been, easily printing 100-point ranges, 100-point initial balance ranges. Okay, so now we have a relatively narrow initial balance range. So if we do indeed get some sort of extension, and right now it feels like it wants to maybe potentially extend in the other direction, but we've been in range since the close of the session of yesterday, right? So it's hard to say whether this candle is going to be the candle that revisits the high. So I'm gonna go in to this session, trying to stay maybe a little bit patient. I am seeing maybe that we are getting a little bit in the way of some bullish price action here of late. I need to see more in the way of some bullish price action to really embrace the longs here. Okay, We really, I would say, need to get above this 50-80 level with some volume. Okay, this kind of volume is how we say, enticing, right? Because we are seeing some volume kind of stepping into this market. Okay, so we have 1,000 more buy market orders than sell market orders. That's what this is telling us, right? So can that momentum continue over the next few candles and maybe offer us an extension? So I'm going to go with a bullish, neutral to bullish kind of rating here in the gold. Okay, moving on to the silver market. All right, we're going to take a look at the silver. Looking at the silver, taking a look at the daily. Okay, daily again, very much in range. Okay, this is a fixed range volume profile from a couple of days ago here. Okay, you can see that the market's still very much in range. We have I'm going to remove it. We have a candle that's an inside candle here, right? So inside candle, we haven't been able to make a new high. We see that price is below our 9. This is even looking maybe even more bearish to me than the gold. Okay, because if I open up my moving averages here, okay, let's open up the moving averages if I have them. Yep, there they are. You can see that price is still below some of the levels that we care about. Okay, so we're not seeing the crossing of moving average like we were seeing in the gold. Okay, so you can see that we're still above the 200, still above the 100, still above the 50, and we are kind of working our way to get maybe above the 20 here. Now the 90 MA is still giving us indications that there's still some bearish price action in this. Price is below this, and again, we feels like we're still very much in control of this bearish candle here. Okay, every attempt that we've made to get to a higher price has been rejected to date. So feeling a little bit more bearish in the silver. Okay, 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range here. Okay, you can see that we are starting to see some, again, where we were seeing maybe a little bit in the gold. We see that price is above the 20, above the 9, trying to maybe, we have a falling 50. Okay, so but we're still below the 200 and the 100. Okay, in this market, again, feels again that we are still somewhat in bearish control here. We haven't made the strides, the bullish strides in this market that we made in the gold, right? We're making, but so we have this 90 level that's above us that we have not been able to break. We've so far only managed to break this lower area. Now we're kind of hovering. We're inside where we have price above our 9. We have price kind of waffling between VWAP, right, above and below it. So again, kind of indicating a little bit in the way of range. Looking at our DMI here, the DMI is also kind of horizontal here with a momentum kind of waning here. So again, giving us an indication here that maybe we are in some sort of range kind of price action. We're lacking any sort of serious direction in this market here at this moment in time. All right, let's take a look now at the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart here, again, you can see that range kind of price action that we've been talking about, right? A lot of overlapping prices here, right? A lot of overlap in price. We're seeing a negative volume delta bar of 206. Our DMI, our negative DI is above, but again, kind of ranging here, right? We're kind of above it, below it. You know, we've been kind of ranging, and we have our ADX really not giving us any sort of indication that there is any strong direction in this market. All right. If I look at the overnight, looking at the overnight, we'll go ahead and open up initial balance here. If I look at the overnight, it looks like the overnight was pretty much range bound. Range bound in Asia? Okay, range bound it appears to be in London as well. Okay, so range bound markets in both Asia and London. So what can we expect? What can we expect in the New York session? Well, maybe more of the same. Okay, the nice thing about this is that we have a relatively narrow initial balance range, right? It's not going to require a whole lot of effort here to get this market to move right out of this range, right? we have an area here, right? We have this, our initial balance range, relatively narrow compared to maybe some of the ranges that we've had in the past. So it could provide us a nice logical move. The question is, which direction is that going to be? Is it going to continue? Is it going to continue the path that it's taken over the last few weeks? Okay. Or maybe the path that was maybe back here on the 9th. Okay. And this is just merely a market that's kind of raging for that next move until it moves again, takes another leg to the downside. That's kind of how it feels, right? Because we have not been able to make any significant new highs here. Okay. And if it does decide to make a new move to the downside, well, here's the logical level that where price could go. So again, I'm going to give this same rating. Okay. I'm going to give it a neutral rating in the market. Again, if we do get price to maybe break above our initial balance, break above our settlement price from yesterday, we could pick up some momentum in this market to the upside. Okay. So I would say that we're going to go with a neutral rating, at least to start, and we're going to be patient and wait for price or wait for participants to indicate to us which direction they want to take the market, because I can make a case for either direction here at this point, right? We see a little bit of a 3-bar reversal pattern, right? We see a little bit of a 3-bar reversal pattern that's developing here, but we haven't been able to make a new high. So we need to get above 82, right? If we have any thoughts on going bullish in this market, okay? Otherwise, and if we get price to break some structure here below, if we get below 81, it could lead to maybe another leg to the downside, or we can just simply remain in range. So right now, this is not an easy market to trade, right? Lot in the way of overlapping price. So again, I'm going to go with the same rating I gave the gold. I'm going to go neutral to potentially bullish, because I do see that they've developed a little bit of a demand here down below that could lead us to maybe another leg higher here in this market. All right, let's go ahead and take a look and see if we have any questions. No questions. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. Crude oil market has not been a market that I've been super active of late here, but we'll take a look at it here. Take a look at the daily. Has been providing us some ranges of late that are indeed tradable. Look at the daily chart. You can see that the market is starting to firm up here. Price is now above our 200, our 100, our 50, our 20, and our 9. Okay, so indicating that maybe there is some more bullish kind of price action that is developing here. Right now, you can see that price is in some sort of range here in this market, right? You can see that we're developing a little bit of a triangle pattern or Dorito pattern, whatever you want to call it. While I don't know exactly the direction of where this is going to go, we've been in somewhat of a bullish direction of late. I do know that the magnitude of whatever move we end up making here is going to be of this order here. Right now, we need to make this move relatively soon, because we don't necessarily just want to travel up to the apex, right? We want to make a move somewhere in this 75% of this pattern, right? Otherwise, we could just continue in this consolidation pattern past this, and we have to kind of adjust our pattern here. So somewhere in this area, somewhere around this timing over the next week here, the expectation is that we will get a magnitude move that would take us potentially up to 71, or take us down to something like 58 or 57. Okay, that's kind of the move that we're making here, potential move that we could make. Right now, it feels like it wants to head up to 72. We're starting to see higher highs and higher lows in this market. Okay, take a look at the 4-hour 4-hour chart. Okay, we'll turn off our initial balance range here for a moment. Here again, you can see that we are in that consolidation pattern, just with more candles. We look at our DMI, there's relatively flat, momentum is relatively flat, volume is relatively flat, so indicating that the market seems to be quite content in remaining in this range. Okay, again, we're just getting more candles in the same formation that we've just talked about. We're seeing wicks on both ends of the candle. right? Indicating indecision as to which direction they want to take the market. Now, obviously, this market is very sensitive to geopolitical unrest, so that's something a market that you need to be careful with, right? So, given all the unrest that we're having in the Middle East, this market could move quite dramatically in a very short time. And you obviously, if you're going to be participating in this market, you obviously need to participate in this market with some stops because the market could move in a direction that you hadn't anticipated. Okay, this could be a combine busting kind of instrument if it's not managed well. Okay, all right, let's take a look here at a 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart, you can see that price is above some of these moving averages that we care about, right? We're above the 100, we're above the 200, we're above the 200, we're above the 100, we're above the 50, we're above the 20. And now we're kind of waffling between the 9 and the 20 moving average. Okay. Right. That's kind of where we're at right at this moment in time. Now I look at the DMI, and the DMI is really not giving me any indication as to which direction they want to take this. All right. If anything defines range, well, there it is, guys. This defines range. And look at the momentum. The momentum on whatever move that's currently made, whether it's bearish or bullish, we're down to 9. Okay. So not a market that unless I want to sit in chop, is not a market that I want to be super active in at this moment in time, right? Given this ADR, ADX reading, there's really no momentum in any direction here in this market. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take a look now at the initial balance ranges, but I think the same conclusion we're going to make is that the market continues to be in some sort of range here. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look anyway. We'll take a quick look here at the Asia session. Asia very much in range. Okay. Right. Maybe range to lower. Looking at the London session, and I really honestly feel like the London session really is the market. London and New York possibly are the markets that you want to be participating in this market. You can see that London is in range, right? So while Asia took a peak above and then kind of rotated back, London has been in range. So what kind of session are we going to get in the New York session? Well, based on what I'm seeing so far, it feels like it's going to continue in some sort of range in this market. So I would focus my attention. If I am going to focus on this market, I need to focus on the extremes. 64.80 to the upside, 64 to the downside. Is that if that's a big enough range for you to trade, then those are the extremes that I'll be focused in on this market. Okay. So before we move on to the equity markets here, guys, so I'm going to give it a neutral rating here, guys. I really don't see any solid direction in the crude oil here at the moment. I'm going to have to wait for some additional information from the market participants to help me understand which direction they want to take this market with that, and need to focus in on the extremes of the ranges. As I mentioned, 64 on the downside, 64.80 maybe to the upside, 64.70 to the upside are the two areas that I'm focused in on at the moment. All right. So before I move on to the equity markets, I'm just going to make my marketing appeal here. If you have not already subscribed, or if you are currently not a subscriber, if you have not hit a like button, I would encourage you to do so. Okay. Encourage me to continue to provide these analysis for you on a daily basis. Okay. So if you have not hit the like button, hit the like button. If you're not currently a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, and then not be shy in leaving some sort of comment to support me and my continued efforts on supporting you this analysis on a daily basis here. Okay. All right. With that, we'll go ahead and move on to the NASDAQ. Okay. NASDAQ, we'll start off with a daily chart. Now, daily chart, I was kind of looking at this market in the opening call, and I felt like this market was a bit on the bearish side. Now we're starting to fix some of the things that maybe I thought were a little bit awry from a bullish perspective. Okay, so we managed. Okay, looking at the daily chart, this is one of the levels I was looking at here. Right, we managed to. This was a resistance zone. Right, we had a couple of areas that were previous support levels that were broken here. Okay, that were broken with these series of candles to the downside. Now with this candle here and the candles to follow it, we're starting to see a little bit of bullish price action in this market. Now, have we addressed all the ills? No, but again, after this candle here, after this bearish candle here, I thought that we would easily get back to the 200 moving average before we would make any sort of significant move higher. Okay, honestly. Okay, now we're starting to show signs of that same pattern that I was thinking that we were going to get to a bit earlier. So indicating that there was some interest in participating in this market in and around the 200 moving average. Okay. Now we see that our ADX indicator is showing a fair amount of momentum in the current direction. Well, technically, the current direction still is on the bearish side, right? We have not made any new highs in this market. Okay, we see that the negative, right, is pressure is slowing, and that we're seeing a slight increase in bullish pressure here. Okay, but we're still not above some of these moving averages, so we're technically not out of the woods of maybe a continuation move. Okay. I think we're coming into some levels that are going to be relatively important in this market. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range here for a moment. We're just going to look at some candles and candle formations and moving averages. Right now, you can see that price is below our 200, below our 100, and we're just starting to make maybe some headway above the 20, above the 50. Okay, so if we do indeed get a cross of, say, the 20 across the 50, maybe that does give us maybe an indication that maybe there is some more upside opportunity in this market. I would say that the 200 moving average right around the 25,630 level could continue to be an area that will serve as some sort of resistance to this market, as well as the 100 moving average. Okay, these two areas right above could offer us maybe some resistance to this market. Certainly, the 26,000 level. The 26,000 level has been a level that has been resistant to this market for some time. Okay, so we'll go ahead and mark that area in red here. Okay, taking a look at the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart, again, it appears that the market is in some sort of range, right? We did have a nice rally in this market in yesterday's session. So now we are, maybe waiting for the next bit of news or next sort of catalyst to cause the market to maybe potentially head higher. Okay. We are seeing that price is above our 100, above our 200, above our 20, and working its way above our 9 and VWAP. So we are seeing some indication. The only thing that I would say on the VWAP is that the VWAP is relatively flat. Okay, so we'd like to see VWAP get into some sort of slope, either to the upside or to the downside, to really use it as an area or reference level to support us in any sort of directional trade. So we do appear to be in some sort of range here. Okay, taking a look at the initial balance ranges for the various markets here. So if I take a look here at the Asia session, okay, Asia was pretty much in range. Okay, London also in range, right? We did break above, only to rotate back to the other side of the range. A couple of attempts here to take the market higher, both rejected. The second one even rejected even more strongly than the first. Okay, so indications that there are maybe some sellers lurking around this 25,420 level. Okay, so that level is going to be a relatively important level to get above if we are going to maintain maybe this potential 3-bar reversal pattern that we're seeing here. Okay, so looking at the DMI, I see a little bit of a spike here on buying pressure. Momentum is still under that strong trend level here, kind of waning here a little bit from a momentum side. We're seeing the selling pressure also kind of wane here. So maybe we are building a little bit of bullish momentum in this market. I would say that we still need to get above 25,410 to really kind of begin to think along those kind of lines. Otherwise, the market could easily continue to remain in some sort of range in this market. So I'm going to go with more of a neutral rating here on the Nasdaq. I'm seeing evidence of rejection here up at the highs here at 25,400. So we'll have to see if 25,400 will continue to hold, and if it does hold, maybe there is another leg to this swing higher that we received in yesterday's session. So I'm I guess maybe cautiously neutral to bullish on the Nasdaq. Okay. Moving on to the ES. Taking a look at the ES here, we'll start off with the daily chart. Daily chart again indicating that we are in some sort of range. We actually reacted well above, didn't even challenge the 200 before we started to reverse away, right? We got down to the 100 moving average and we reversed away from it with a very strong bullish candle here, okay? A very strong Marubozu candle is engulfing, all right? So indicating that there's a good amount of buying pressure based on this daily chart. Again, we have this 7,000 level, 7,020 level that has been resistant, right? Not just once, not just twice, okay? But there's a potential that will come to that level again today, right? And is it going to be resistant to price a third time? Okay. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance ranges here. Okay. Taking a look at this, we can see that we have a collapsing DMI with no real momentum. So the market of late has been in some sort of range. Now, price is above our 200, above our 100, above our 50, above our 20. Okay. So we are seeing some indication that maybe they want to take price, and some of the slower price actions are crossing above our faster ones are crossing above our slower ones. Okay. So indicating that there is, some buying, right, happening. Not a whole lot of volume at the moment, but we are in pre-market. So that's to be expected. But we are seeing maybe a little bit in the way of some bullish, if I'm just looking at these series of candles here, right? If I'm just looking at these series of candles, these series of candles are indicating to me, yeah, maybe we are developing a little bit in the way of structure that indicates that maybe the market wants to head higher, right? We got a break of this bullish flag. Is this area going to offer me another break of this bullish flag? We already got a retest of it. Okay. So right now it feels like, I would say that it feels even more bullish to me than the Nasdaq. Okay. The level that it needs to get above is still the 7,020 level. But if we manage to get above that, then we have the 7,040 level. And then we have, clearer pastures assuming that we can get above that level. Okay. Market has been in some sort of range. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the 30-minute chart here, just to kind of short term, right? You can see that the market has a lot in the way of some overlapping price action, right? The DMI indicators indicating that as well. Our positive, our ADX indicator is not above the 25 reading that we care about. The negative and the positive are not above that. Actually, technically, the positive is above, but it's overlapping, right? There's not a whole lot of separation between our positive and negative DI. Now, looking at price, we do see a fair amount of interest. Looks like we had a little bit of a flush here, okay, that took place prior to the market, and now we are starting to maybe build up a little bit of maybe some bullish price action here. We're still not out of the woods yet. I would say we still need to get above 69.95. But we are starting to see maybe a little bit in the way of some bullish price action in this market. We'll take a look now at the initial balance ranges across the various sessions here. We'll start off with the Asia session, and take a look at Asia. You can see that we were pretty much in range up until the end. Okay, pretty much in range up until the end of the market here in Asia. Okay, and looking at the London session, London was also pretty much. We did extend once. We did extend a second time. This one almost seems like it's news driven, right? This extension, we held, we reacted, and then we got back to those highs, only for sellers to step back in and to step in some good amount of force here. Okay, now we're recovering and looking to maybe potentially retest these levels again, looking to get above this initial balance range from London. So right now, again, I'm going to give the same kind of rating that I gave to Nasdaq. I would say that we are very much in range. And if we can break either above, like what I'm seeing right now is that it wants to retest these highs again. That if we do break above that, that maybe we can move into some sort of bullish trend here. But right now, it feels like we're in some sort of range. So there's probably better price locations that we can get here. We just need to be patient. I'm going to be watching the initial balance range to see what the initial balance range offers me. So I'm at least another hour and a half here or hour and 15 minutes away from maybe even beginning even to entertain a trade in this market. Okay. All right. Let's take a look here at the final market here, and then we'll summarize kind of our position. Okay. So here we are. The Dow has been the strongest, honestly, of the three equity markets of late. Okay. You can see that massive move that we received in the Dow here on Friday. And we've retested some of these areas, right? And looks like there is still some interest in driving this price or driving price higher here. Okay, so we had this value range from Monday that's been exceeded. Okay, that's been exceeded. Right, so we have some interest. Okay, in taking this market higher. Okay, taking a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart at the moment seems to be in some sort of range. Okay, you can see price is overlapping in range. Okay, and you can see that the volume is not really giving us, but we are still in pre-market. That should pick up here in a few minutes. Looking at the DMI, that's also not giving us any indication. We're our positive, our ADX indicator, our ADX momentum indicator is below our 25, below our reading that would indicate that we are in a strong range. Our positive is still above our negative, but not separating. In some cases, collapsing, indicating that we are in some sort of range here at the moment. Okay. Taking a look at the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, again, more of the same, more range kind of price action, except the last three candles here. Looks like, I don't know, this was kind of news driven. Now that's kind of, they thought better of that move and now are starting to maybe look a bit more bullish here. Okay, last 30-minute candles have all been to the bullish side. We have 50,300 that is has been and shown evidence of being resistant to price. So we're going to go ahead and mark that area as an area of resistance here. So we'll go ahead and see if I can locate the proper candle to mark that, and a proper tool, I should say. So 50,300 does appear to be an area of some resistance. And then I'm seeing here that there appears to be some support here at 50,100 down below. Okay, so 50,100 supportive, 50,300 not so much. Okay, taking a look at the initial balance ranges across the various markets. We'll start off with Asia. Okay, this Asia market here. Oops. Asia really pretty much in range up until the end, okay, of the session here. And then we got a solid move to the upside, and this appears to be kind of some sort of news event that happened during this period here to cause the market to sell off like this. But nonetheless, London was or is ranging, right? We took a peak above, we took a peak below, and now we're back inside the initial balance range of London, looking to potentially maybe head higher. Okay, so right now, again, similar story with the Dow as I have with the other equity markets. It appears to be a market that is in range. We've identified some levels of interest that we want to be participating in. We're going to need to focus our attention up here at this level here, because that's where sellers were before. And this 50,100, that's where we have had buyers, right? We are getting a little bit of an uptick here in the selling buying pressure, but we still have our ADX indicator below our 25 rating. So until we can get our ADX above 25, it's probably a market I'm probably going to sit on the sidelines on until we can move into some sort of established trend. Right now, we seem to be in some sort of range. So again, similar to the other equity markets, I'm going to give it a neutral to bullish kind of rating. But again, we still need to break above these new highs, these 50,300, in order to I would say restore that bullish price action that we've seen of late in the Dow. Okay, let's go ahead and make one final pass across the various markets here, guys. We're going to go ahead and we're going to open this up here, not for the London session, but for the day session, and take a peek here. So we have our second in the series of bullish candles in the gold. You can see that price has managed to get above. We still haven't closed, but has managed to get above settlement. So that is a positive indication that maybe we are going to continue in a bullish direction in this market. So again, maybe a little, assuming that we can hold above. We've gotten a fair amount of volume here. Our positive DI is above our negative. We just need our ADX indicator to kind of firm up here a little bit to give us an indication that we are indeed in some sort of potential trending move in the gold. Okay, so again, still going to go with my neutral rating until we can get above 5,100, but it does appear to be more bullish on the gold market. Silver also giving us some indication that maybe we're getting a little bit of some price action here that would indicate that there is some interest in taking this market to the upside. We have a bullish candle here right up against our settlement price, right inside our initial balance range. So if we do manage to get above 82, I would say that maybe we can get to 84 in this market. All right, assuming we can get some volume in the right direction. I think that's certainly possible. I'm seeing some price action here of late that indicates that maybe there is some buying pressure that's developing in the silver. Crude oil market remains in range. I'm not going to give it any rating other than neutral. Okay, neutral rating in the crude oil market. Probably a market that I'm going to continue to sit on the sidelines on. Not really seeing anything in the way of price action that would indicate there is any sort of direction that's taking place. Again, this is a market that is a market that is very sensitive to news. Okay, especially global political news. So with all the unrest, I think you open yourself up here to really getting hurt pretty badly, especially when you have a market that's not really moving. You're going to have to sit in this market for a long time before you get the move that you're looking for, and it may not be in your direction. So I would say crude oil is probably a dangerous market here to be a part of, given all the unrest, until it gets into some sort of direction. Taking a look at the equity markets, well, we started off with the NASDAQ. Okay, NASDAQ here. All right, and again, we had a nice move during the U.S. session yesterday, got a nice break of the initial balance range, and now we've been in some sort of range. We were in range in Asia, range in London. So are we going to see more of the same? Okay, or is this merely just a small pullback for maybe another leg to the upside? If so, right? If so, what would be some of the targets? Well, I could take a measurement, right? I can measure this move that we made up to the highs, back to the lows. Well, it's telling me there's the possibility that we can. There's a possibility that we can head up to 25,745. Okay, based on a measured move of this trend. Okay, so if we are going to continue bullish and we manage to get above 25,415, then maybe 25,563 and 25,744 may not be in the near future, reaching those levels. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give it a neutral to bullish rating on the NASDAQ, okay? Right, but obviously we need to get a new high. If we start to break down below the 9 EMA, I can easily change that. We may, it's certainly possible that we come back and maybe revisit some of the conviction of some of the folks here. But right now, I'm going to give it the neutral to bullish rating, okay? ES, similar kind of price action. Again, you can see that we continue to have price events that indicate that we are in some sort of bullish move. We do see we are in some sort of flattening here on the ranging here of late. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can open up our initial balance is still not. We're still a few minutes away from the market opening here. It's going to be open on us here in about a minute. Okay. So again, neutral to bullish on the ES, and then YM. I would also say neutral to bullish on the YM. Okay. So that's kind of what I have for you guys today. Again, guys, if you have not hit the like button, I'd encourage you to do so. If you have not left a comment on the portal, I would encourage you to do so. And with that, we'll go ahead and close this session as we close most sessions, and that is trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent day trading, guys, and we'll be back at this tomorrow morning.